Let's bring in Mercedes Schlapp, former senior advisor to President Trump, now a CPAC Foundation senior fellow, and Juan Williams, a Fox News political analyst. Welcome to you both. Juan, I don't know how you can look at the pictures that Bill Melugin is showing us with dozens and dozens of people stuffed into the back of trucks and then locked from the outside and not believe there is a legitimate and severe problem at the border. And yet the DHS is literally telling Republicans to stop pointing fingers and to do something about it. And you know who else is pointing fingers, Juan? Democrats. Listen to Governor-elect Katie Hobbs from Arizona.
I don't think they're doing enough. I would love to have them visit and see firsthand the kind of support and relief that folks in these communities need from the federal government.
Juan, your thoughts?
Well, I think that Senator Mark Kelly said yesterday, you know, Democrats need to do more, and Katie Hobbs is repeating that theme. He also said Republicans need to stop beating up on this issue and solve it, do something. And that's what you heard in the statement that you read, Trace, from Secretary Mayorkas's office in the Department of Homeland Security. It's not that anyone's saying there's not a problem. There's a tremendous
Everybody's saying they're not a problem. Well, that's not a fair assessment. People are saying there's not a problem.
That's not true.
You have the DHS secretary going before Congress time and time again saying the border is secure. If that's not saying there's not a problem, I don't know what is. And I just want to say one thing. Let me just say one thing.
Wait. You are misinterpreting this, Trace, because the secretary is saying we have a record number of apprehensions right now. So obviously, this border police, this customs force, they are doing their job. They are arresting people in record numbers, Trace. The argument here is about what to do. And when you see McCarthy go down there,
numbers coming. I have been covering the border for 35 years. It was my first job in television, and I know exactly the problem. It's been going on for a long time. And Mercedes, I'll let you jump in on this. But to say that people are not getting in this country in record numbers, and they are, and walking across the border and being stuffed into trucks is disingenuous. That is the problem, and the Republicans
what anyone's saying. Oh my gosh, Trace, no one's saying that. I wish you'd stop. What we're saying is there's a new stream of people coming from Nicaragua, Cuba, Venezuela. There's all new issues.
It doesn't matter where they're coming from, it's the border itself which is unsecure. Go ahead, Mercedes.
No, it's fine, Trace. I think I'm going to become the moderator now. You're doing such a great job. But look, it's not just a problem. It is a humanitarian crisis. We're talking about human lives. And the mere fact is that we know that President Biden and the Democrats have done nothing to stop this border crisis. Instead, it's created a magnet. The policies that the Biden administration has put in place, the policies that they've taken away, like Remain in Mexico, for example, where they in essence are calling folks to come into the country. That has created record number of individuals coming into the country where there is catch and release, and people are being able to go into the interior of this nation without any sort of control.
And
this has been caused by the Democrats. This border security issue should be a bipartisan issue, and sadly, the Democrats have failed to protect our borders and in essence create human trafficking issues and fentanyl issues.
I want to put, and exactly to your point there, look at these numbers. This is the encounters. You look at that 2 million plus encounters. The gotaways are not even included in that. And then you look at the fentanyl drug seizures, roll over to the next one, and you've got 14.7 thousand pounds of fentanyl. That's enough to kill everyone in the country. That's 40% higher than last year. It is a major problem, and I'll give you 10 seconds to wrap it up, Juan, and I hate to be jump in your thing there, but the Republicans have said over and over again, we need to secure the border, we need to keep building the border wall, we need to reinforce the number of Border Patrol agents down there. There have been solutions coming, and Joe Biden has never been to the border, and Kamala Harris has done zero down at the border. Your final thoughts?
Well, I mean, what's McCarthy doing down there? He's really running to be speaker, and he doesn't have the vote, so he's putting on performance political art. He's not solving anything. He's not saying, yes, I have an idea. There were proposals under Bush, under Trump, under Obama, and who blocked it? It was Republicans, Freedom Caucus types. Never satisfied.
I was there in the White House.
With a comprehensive deal.
They're giving me the rap. Go ahead, Mercedes, 5 seconds.
I'm just going to say one thing. I was there during the Trump administration. We tried to work on various deals with the Democrats. They refused to come to the table. They don't want to solve this border crisis.
Juan,
in fact,
Mercedes?
they're making it worse.
Thank you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.